But are you able to hear me? Uh-oh. Okay, are you able to hear me now? Without any, I know that there probably was some echo, and I'm hoping that that is gone now. Thank you guys for giving me so much feedback. Okay, Vicky says you can hear me now. Okay, good. Thanks, Paula. Thank you, everyone, for letting me know. It's always crazy trying to use some new technology, but it seems to be doing okay. Okay, great. Thank you so much. So I know that there was an echo, and I'm seeing people say echo, but I have no idea if it fixed once I muted on my end. I'm just going to wait a little bit for the comments to catch up. Okay, so I see echo. Everyone is telling me that there is still an echo. Can someone verify that there is still an echo? Because I did adjust a setting. Jody says there is a bit of an echo. Okay, let me see if still okay. Let's try a different. Ooh, I don't think that works. How about now? Is this better? I just changed one more setting. Yes, Sarah, I have it muted on my phone. I'm using a different service. Okay, now Robin says good. Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. Hi, Carol. Carol's watching me from up north. I saw Carol this weekend. Did everyone have a great 4th of July? John and I visited some friends in northern Wisconsin, and it was amazing. We had so much fun. And of course, it's always hectic when you get back trying to get everything all packed up. And I had my project planned for the live, but you never know how that goes. I didn't have anything cut or ready to go. So, all right. I see lots of people watching. For those of you who are new to my channel on YouTube, I am live on YouTube and also on Facebook right now. For those of you who are new to watching me, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. I hope that you find my project inspiring tonight. I hope you learn a lot about stamping that makes your creative escape even easier and more fun. I am Rose Grunwald. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I am stamping with you tonight from my stamping studio here in New Holstein, Wisconsin. And stamping studio is just a fancy way of saying a spare bedroom where I have a lot of stuff stored. So I have a new class to go this month featuring the Tidings and Trimmings bundle. It's my Christmas in July class, and so tonight I'm giving you some inspiration using that bundle, and hopefully the Christmas in July cards cool you off during this very hot 4th of July weekend weather. All right, if you are watching on YouTube, I have all sorts of videos, whether you're catching me live or the replay. And if you hit subscribe, then you can have all of my videos in one handy place. So just take a minute and subscribe. For those of you who'd like to see more of my inspiration on Facebook, you can find me at Country Cards by Rose over there on Facebook. Like and follow my page. Now, I give away prizes every live. And the way that you can Get prizes is by commenting, liking, and sharing for a chance at a prize. And if you are going to share, I'm just going to type in this. If you are going to share my video, I appreciate if you use the hashtag Country Cards by Rose Live. That makes it so much easier for me to find everyone who shared my video. Otherwise, it's really difficult because of security settings, and I don't want any of you to miss out on my prize. So make sure when you're sharing, you use that hashtag, not in the comments of my video, but in the description of your post when you post it on Facebook or wherever you share. So just a reminder to comment, like, and share for a chance at a prize. All right, let's do our prizes now. You might remember last week I was in a color challenge for the Global Design Project, which featured Fresh Freesia, I think it was Pear Pizzazz, and Blackberry Bliss. Here is the beautiful card we made, not last week, 2 weeks ago, because I wasn't able to make it live last week. And I have another similar layout card featuring similar colors. I'm giving away both of these cards for commenting, and the winner of that is Joanne Porter. So congratulations, Joanne. In the description of this live, you will find a link to fill out my prize claim form so that I can send your prize out. And for sharing, I've got a half a pack of the 2020 to 2022. So the in colors that kicked off last year and are still going strong this year, the Bumblebee, Cinnamon Cider, Just Jade, Magenta Madness, and Misty Moonlight. I've got a half a pack of that in color 6x6 DSP for sharing my video, and that goes to Beverly Asterike. I think I'm saying that right. Again, if you just use that prize claim form, you can fill out your information so I can send the prize to you. Now, I'm featuring tonight, I am featuring the Tidings and Trimmings bundles. Let's take a look at that. The stamp set, of course, coordinates with some dies. Stamp set has 18 images. You've got a mix of sentiments and images with coordinating dies. So like these stockings coordinate, these leaves even coordinate. These holly berries is what I call them, or holly sprig. I don't really know what that is, but I have been loving the stars in this bundle. And the cool thing about this bundle is that as I was playing around, I learned that you don't necessarily have to use this bundle just for Christmas. So I was thinking about this Cheers from Our Home to Yours would make a wonderful New Year's card. And I actually made a card last week and posted it on my blog. I think it was Friday, featuring this bundle and using it with my playful alphabet dies. This card uses the dies here and some of the paper from the Tidings and Trimmings 6x6 designer series paper. And I've made a patriotic card here for the 4th of July and a bit of this Americana theme. So this stamp set can be used for so much more than just Christmas. In fact, I was thinking that if you had like a graduation party that you were going to, you could just swap out some of these colors for your graduates' colors, and that might make a wonderful layout for a card like that. Now, tonight we're actually making one of the cards from my Tidings and Trimmings class. So in this class, you get a full spool of this really pretty evening evergreen chevron ribbon. I'm going to turn on my other light here because I think I've got a bit of a shadow. This is absolutely beautiful ribbon. I love it. Fabric. You get a full pack of the pretty holiday rhinestone basic jewels. And you've got some some deep navies in here, some lighter blues, some greens, red, and like a yellow. Absolutely stunning. You get a half a pack of the Tidings and Trimming Designer Series paper. And as you can see, I've been using the heck out of this stuff. This red might look familiar. That's what I used on my patriotic card. So this paper is just beautiful. Of course, two-sided. Love these designs. Isn't that pretty? Love the striping. Ooh, here's a good one. I just love those colors. I feel like this paper and the colors, this is my favorite paper in this whole pack. Isn't it just absolutely adorable? It kind of has a country Christmas type of feel, or a rustic, crafty Christmas. It reminds me of walking around in like holiday flea markets and like craft stores at Christmas time. That's kind of the crafty country Christmas type feel that I think this paper gives. And then I'm going to give you a little sneak peek at some of the cards you'll get to be making in the class. So we've got this fun fold here. Absolutely gorgeous. That's one of the cards you would make in the class. A lot of easy, pretty layering. So there's another card you would get to make in the class. This one is probably my favorite. That's another card you'll get to make in the class. And a fourth one that we're going to make tonight. So there are 4 more cards that you get to make, but I'm not going to give away all of the secrets. So let's get started. All right. Our card base tonight, we're making a tall card. We are using Sahara sand. And remember last week I gave you the tip that when you are cutting your tall cards, you can score first so that you only have to score once when you cut. Well, since I'm only making 1 card tonight, I'm just going to do the scoring after I cut. So I've just taken a piece of cardstock and cut it the long way, and then I scored it at 5.5. And then I need another layer that is 5.25 by 4. So we're getting that ready. We've got our card base layers all ready to go. And then we're going to do a little bit of cutting in our designer series paper. So let me move some of this stuff. I think I'll use this color if I have enough, if it's wide enough. I don't know that it's wide enough. Nope, I need a 2.25. Here we go. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces of designer series paper, and the first one will be 2.25 inches by 3.5. What do you think of this paper? Isn't it absolutely gorgeous? Thanks, Linda. Linda says she loves the cards. I really appreciate that. Okay, and I need to pair this with another color. So I'm thinking, ooh, I kind of like the stripes. So, ooh, nope, I like this dark red. So this dark red, I'm going to go 2 5/8 by 4. So 2 4/8, and then I just go one more, 2 5/8 by 4. Now, if you have the stitched rectangle dies, these sizes actually coordinate with 2 of the stitched rectangle dies, but I wanted to give you the dimensions tonight so that if you order the class and you want to swap it out, you can just cut these layers instead of die cutting them. So I've got 2 coordinating pieces of cardstock here all cut and ready to go. And now we need to do some die cutting. So what I have been doing with this stamp set and dies is doing a lot of my die cutting all at once if I possibly can. So we have scraps here of Sahara Sand, Cherry Cobbler, Evening Evergreen, Basic White, and our new Soft Succulent. So let me get out my Big Boss over here. First I'm going to see if I have, as I have been cutting these, I've been tucking some of my extra die cut pieces that I haven't been using right here in my folder for my dies. And actually we're going to use this stocking on our card so I don't have to cut that one. So that's a little storage tip for you. As you die cut to play around with your stuff and have extras, you can just toss them in the back of your folder for your dies. Works pretty darn good. Okay, so we are going to die cut this star, and actually I need, it helps if I get my cutting platform right. Okay, so I'm making this card just a little bit different than the one in the class. And I'll show you when I'm done what that one looks like. And while I'm at it, I've got a little bit of room here. So I'm going to throw this Cherry Cobbler piece in here. I'm going to do a sprig. So I'm trying to make the most of my swipes with my die cutting machine. Get out my Big Boss. And I have to be honest, I don't always do this much die cutting on a card as you're going to see with these projects tonight. But the ideas, once I started going, the ideas just kept coming to me. So I'm going to use this star outline, and I'm going to use the detailed little star piece that came from the inside. I need to keep this one out. And then this little holly berry sprig I'm going to use. And I need another one of these. And I need, let's see what else. I need a few stars. This is all I'm going to be able to fit on here. So we'll die cut another round. Do any of you die cut ahead of time and just kind of keep a bunch of dies handy in a little box? Super easy to grab them that way. I saw someone was on vacation but did not bring this stamp set with them. Someone I think said that on YouTube here. And I love doing stamping when I'm on vacation. So I think that's a super fun idea to take some projects with you. Now, this Evening Evergreen piece, we have quite a few images we're cutting out of here. So we've got 2 holly berry leaves that I'm going to line up. And ultimately we'll need 3 of these little stars. So I'll just cut one at a time since I only have 1 in here. Oh, Linda does. Sandy does. I saw Sarah was watching. Sarah Simon was watching. And Sarah, I saw your pictures from your gorgeous 4th of July decorations up north. And that looked really festive and wonderful. It made me wish I was there with you. Okay, so we're cutting a few of these out. And then we need 2 more little stars and 1 more of these bigger Sahara Sand stars, and then we should be done. I really like to take my paper pumpkin kits with me while I am on vacation because like everything's in there, so it's kind of nice. Even the glue dots are in there to adhere. I just usually have to toss a pair of scissors in with my stuff and I'm like totally good to go. We need 1 more of these little stars. It was the perfect weekend to be on the water. It was so hot here. It is still so hot here. I came up here maybe about a couple hours ago to turn on. I just have a little room air conditioner unit here, and I turned that on to try and get it cooled off in here, and I'm telling you, it did not work. It is so hot in here. I am like a sweaty stamper tonight making projects. So you're right. It was the absolute perfect weekend to be on the water. We were staying at a friend's cabin and they have a place in the woods. So it was nice and shady. But me and my friend Shannon, we went to like a flea market in the downtown area near where their cabin is. And it was so hot. We usually love to go to like different craft shops and stuff like that. And we couldn't even bring ourselves to do it. Oh, shoot. I forgot. I have to die cut one more thing. So on our layering circles, I want to get out a couple of these. Let me just double check the sizes. And we had to give up. We were like, enough of this. It is too hot. Haha, Jody says, just don't drip on your project. Yeah. Good call. If I were watercoloring, maybe that wouldn't be such a bad thing. Gross. Now, we're pretty much done with our die cutting. So I'll just take a minute and recap all of the different stuff we die cut. But all we have left once everything's die cut is just putting the card together, which is the easy part always. Okay. And I have one more piece that I need to trim. So off of my Sahara Sand scrap, I'm cutting a piece that is 2.5 inches long by 1 inch wide. And we're going to use this as well. This also is a size that came from the stitched rectangles, but showing you how to measure and cut in case you don't have that die set. Okay, so here we are working with our card base. And we've got 2 pieces of coordinating DSP. We've got a little rectangle that we're going to end up using for our sentiment. We've got 2 layered circles die cut here, and those are going to go on top of each other. And then we've got some evening evergreen holly berries, 4 of them. We've got 3 small stars. We have got 3 solid stars out of Sahara Sand, the outline of a star, the intricate star in Soft Succulent, 2 Hollyberry Sprigs. I'm off camera with some of these things. And then remember our stocking. So okay. The first thing we're going to do is add a little texture to our card front layer. And I'm going to do that with these solid Sahara Sand stars. So this is a little tip I like to do to just add a little dimension and texture to kind of color on tone on tone layers. So I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of these solid stars. I'm using my Stampin' Seal. You are always going to want to use a good quality adhesive with your stamping because we spend a lot of time making these cards and we don't want them to fall apart for the people we send them to. All right, now I'm going to place these stars here on my layer. So I'm going to put one up here. I think I'll put kind of one over here. And then one down here. So you can see how this tone on tone adds a little bit of texture. Now I'm going to grab my snips. So we're going to flip this paper over. And with my very sharp paper snips, I'm just going to trim off the edges of those stars that are hanging over this layer. Just like that. Yeah. All right, now, when I am layering, I always like to get an idea of how I want the card to look in the final stages. So this is going to go on top here. So I know I've got just a little bit of window of overhang. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is adhere these rectangles to our card front. So I'm going for a little country crafty Christmas look with this one. So I want a little overhang here, and that actually looks pretty good. So I'm going to glue that down with a little adhesive. Now, for those of you who are new to using our Stampin' Seal, you absolutely can use liquid glue is totally fine. If you want to learn how to use a glue runner like that, my biggest tip for the Stampin' Seal that I have for you is not to push too hard. I actually find when I have a softer touch, it goes really, really well. All right, I am gluing this down. And now we're coming in with our other coordinating piece here. And that goes down. So we've got our card front layer started. What are you thinking so far? Those stars peeking out there and some coordinating colors of our cardstock. Okay. Now, the one thing about a fabric ribbon that I really like is that there's so much you can do with it. You could tie it in a bow, you can tie it in a knot. I also like to incorporate these ribbons into the layers of my card, and that's what we're going to do with our ribbon layer here. So I'm going to just layer this. I cut way too much off. And that's okay, I'll trim this down even more yet. But I'm going to layer this on my card front. So What's really cool about the ribbon is that it happens to be exactly the width of our tape or glue runners. And for this, because I'm gluing, this textured ribbon, I'm going to use my Seal Plus, which is even stronger than our Stampin' Seal. Now I know I'm going to trim some of the edges, so I'm being careful not to go all the way to the edges. If you've got some hanging out that you're going to eventually trim, that's just a little tip. Just be aware of that. And be careful not to go too close to the edge with your glue. Now you see I'm using this silicone craft sheet. I'm using this because I don't want to get glue and sticky stuff all over my desktop. And this works absolutely wonderful for being able to glue without worry that I'm getting my workstation sticky. Now I'm just going to go in here and trim this off so we only have a little bit overhanging our card front. Okay, now comes the fun layering where we have to kind of figure out where everything goes. And again, I'm going for a lot of texture and interest and just kind of like your eyes are taking it all in here. So I'm going to do the same with my layering circles. How many of you make layered cards? I have to tell you that I see a lot of it from some of the artisan design team stampers, and it always looks really overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. You just kind of putz around and try new things. So for this one, I'm really featuring this adding dimension with some tone on tone layers. So you can see how that just adds a little extra something to that circle. Do you do a lot of layered cards? I would love to know. All right, now this is going to go on my project here, and it's going to be popped up on dimensionals. I've already got a lot of stuff on my first plane, and so now I want to start working on my second plane or my next level here. So I am going to grab some dimensionals and pop up this circle layer. Okay. And this looks good right about here. All right. Now we are, believe it or not, actually doing some stamping in this card, not just layering. So I'm going to grab my sentiment here. I'm using the Cheers from Our Home to Yours. And this is a photopolymer set, so I always keep one of my Stampin' Pierce nets handy so that I can get a good crisp image with my stamp. I see Robin says that she usually layers circles in different colors, but she likes the tone on tone. Yeah, it really adds a little something, I feel like. It's all about kind of texture and dimension. All right, so I'm stamping this Cheers from Our Home to Yours, and I'm going as far to the edge as I can, because this part's going to go under a layer, and I want to make sure there's plenty of tail there for it to be able to adhere. All right. So that's actually going to come next. I'm going to glue my sentiment here right over the top of my layering circles. And now these circles are up on dimensionals, so I will put glue on this side and dimensionals on the opposite edge so that we are all working on the same plane here. And we don't have kind of a bumpy layer. Jody, I stamped an evening evergreen for the sentiment. So I'm using evening evergreen to tie in our ribbon and the dark green of our pretty patterned paper here. Okay, so gluing that down, and now so you see it's not bumpy, it's all level because I glued here and put my dimensional here for a little bit of stability. Okay, now here comes my biggest layering tips. I actually like to start with the top layer when doing the technique, this sort of layering technique that I'm doing right now. And once my top layer is established, then I go and I fill in underneath it. And you'll find that glue dots are your best friend when doing this technique. When I do my layers, when I make my card front layers this way, I end up with kind of jaw-dropping wow layers. So I've put a couple dimensionals on our stocking, and I'm going to put this here over our die cut circles at an angle. And if we wanted to, we could call this card good right now. And this is what I love about this technique. We could totally call it good right now, but we also could do some layering. So I am going to bring in this open star here. And I put away my silicone craft sheet, and I shouldn't have. And I'm going to use some liquid glue, and of course it was ready to go, so I've got a ton of it. Here's why I love the silicone craft sheet. And let's have an air bubble in there. Now, I am going to tuck this under. So when it comes to layering, you don't always have to work from the bottom up. You can work from the top down and tuck your layers underneath what you have established. And I find this is where I end up getting my absolute best layers, is when I start from the top and I think, oh, there's something missing there. What could I tuck? So if you want to call this any sort of method, I would call it the tuck layering method. So I'm going to grab like one of these holly leaves, and I put a glue dot. It's a little shadowy. Let's see if I can get the light here. There's a glue dot right on the end of that holly berry. Okay. And I'm just going to tuck it in here. And of course, a holly berry needs a friend. So I take my glue dot, I pick it up on my paper, so I know I'll have something to stick it in there, and I tuck it in. And we probably need a sprig of, red here. So let's see. I think this end is a little long. That's okay. I'll just trim it off. And I just like to tuck. And then when I find a spot I like, ooh, that looks good. Okay. So now let's do the same. I'm going to find a thicker piece. So I'm going to use where this branch, this holly berry kind of branches off. And we're just going to stick it behind here. There we go. Stick it in. Okay, now our other side's looking a little naked. So let's grab our holly berries, and let's even it out. So I just grab that dewdrop. Grab that glue dot and I just tuck it under. So this is how I just kind of play around till I have things all set where I like them to be. And your eyes will tell you. You'll know when something's balanced. And if it isn't, you just tuck something in. So there we've got another holly leaf coming in. And we totally could bring in another sprig of red, kind of here behind it all. Like that would look really nice, I think. This is a little long, so we're going to trim that again. We're just going to do the same. What do you think of this tuck-in layering technique? Is this how you do your layers? Is this maybe something new? I found layering super, super intimidating until I started doing more of this kind of tuck-in layering. And I just place the stuff where I want it. And then I thought we could balance out this star, maybe with a star layer, kind of tucked behind all of this stuff. Maybe over here. Okay, this is sticking out a little too far. So no problem. Just push it in further. There we go. Okay, let's grab a glue dot and pick up on the star. Oh, thank you, Gloria. Thank you, Jody and Sandy. Now remember, this is one of the cards that you will get to make in my Christmas in July class to go. All right, so now comes the fun part. We get to do one of my favorite techniques. As I look here, I feel like, there's some green. I want to bring this color in. So I'm going to do a little ink spritzing. I've got my Evening Evergreen Stampin' Up marker here. And I just kind of lightly tap it in the cap. And I spritz across my page and bring in some ink. Of course, I get it all over my desktop. So I always keep a package of baby wipes handy. I'll just wipe up those ink splotches. All right. Now, I think a couple of like really take your card to the next level tips. I forget who always reminds me to do this. It might be Robin. I'm going to take a little bit of, maybe it isn't Robin, I can't remember. A little bit of Wink of Stella. And I'm going to use it on our holly berry sprigs. It might be Kay who watches. I can't remember, but there is someone, one of you watches me pretty regularly, and you always remind me to use Wink of Stella. So you don't always have to color in a stamped image with Wink of Stella. Right now, what I'm doing is just putting a little bling here on the red holly berries. Set this aside because we're going to use it some more. Oh, thank you, Robin. Thanks, Judy. All right, now we've got our card. We want to mount it on our card front. This card has a lot of layers, just warning you. So you might need an extra stamp when you send it, or a couple of those extra, 1 centers or something like that. But who cares? Because when your recipient opens this up, they are going to be absolutely amazed by the layering work of this country Christmas card. Okay, so we've got this down. Now, here is something that I found super, super cool and with this particular bundle is that these little baby stars make the perfect embellishment in addition to like pearls or rhinestones or what you would want to use. So I just put a little dot of glue on them. My glue has an air bubble in it, so it's like oozing out. And then I tucked them in, I placed them just like I would if I were placing like rhinestones or something like that. So we've got one there. Remember when I place those, I love to kind of go with the flow of the card, and I like to notice empty spaces. I lost one. I lost a star. They must have gotten stuck somewhere. I have no idea where it went. Well, we're just going to put 2 of them on. Oh, it's on my finger. Oh my gosh. So I'll put this one kind of over here, bring a little color down here. And then remember our perfect finishing touch. We'll make these stars glitter, just like bling would. So I'm just going to Stella these stars. And in your Christmas in July kit, you also get a package of the holiday rhinestones. So we could bring out some of the pretty red in here by adding some of these rhinestones. Ooh, that would be pretty there. And I'll do a little bit bigger one, I think, here. Oh my gosh. There you go. There's our card. It's done. Of course, you can stamp the inside. I have kept you for a long time tonight, so I am not going to stamp the inside and make you guys wait on me while I do that. And here is the card that was my inspiration. So you can see how, like, I have a solid star here. This one was the stitched rectangles, and this one I used different patterns. So this paper is absolutely perfect and easy, and I mean, it's a lot of steps, but it is definitely an easy technique for layering, is to kind of do that tuck in layering method. Now, remember that I have all sorts of videos and you want to have them in one handy place. So take a minute to subscribe to my YouTube channel or like and follow my Facebook page. And prizes, I do a prize drawing for comments, likes, and shares. So I don't want you to forget about that. And I also, this is what I do for a living. I really appreciate when you support my small business. I would love to earn your business if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. You can shop my online store at www.rosegrunwald.com. I've got my June host code kind of scrolling along the bottom of my screen, And when you purchase from me, it really helps out my business and helps me to keep bringing all of these ideas to you. So I so appreciate every purchase and send a hand-stamped card to everyone who orders from me. All right, I am going to wrap up and let you all get back to your night. I'm probably going to watch a little bit of The Bachelorette and eat some pizza for dinner because it's waiting for me downstairs. Thanks again for joining me. I am here live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I hope to see you all next week. Have a great week. Bye, guys.